And finally, we'll wrap up today with a conversation about whether home builders are to blame for why housing is so expensive. The president recently came out and accused the national home builders of sitting on millions and millions of vacant lots. The implication being, well, if you were to build homes on these lots, introduce them into the ecosystem, whether it's hundreds of thousands or millions of new homes, that's going to put downward pressure on prices. Suddenly, everything's more affordable. I don't know where he sourced this 2 million vacant lot number. However, there are a couple charts I want to take a look at. First is monthly supply of new houses in the United States. This is when a builder is done building the house and they list it on the market for sale. This is how long it takes them to sell each incremental house. And when we take a look at a 5-year time horizon, it takes now double the amount of time to sell each individual house than it did 5 years ago. So it's taking longer and longer. So what that tells us is there's inventory out there. Builders are building, they're putting things on the market. It's just taking them longer and longer to be able to move that product so then they can just transition to the next project on the time horizon. Next, we'll take a look at how greedy these builders actually are. So this is coming to us from a site called Macro Trends. We're looking at the net profit margins over the past 5 years for Lennar Home Builder, which is one of the largest home builders in the country. For our audio-only audience, we are looking at 3 charts: gross margin, operating margin, net margin, that are all top left to bottom right, meaning it is becoming less and less attractive each year to be a home builder. Why is this? Why is it that their margins are continually getting squeezed? Well, let's take a look at what goes into building a home. We have 3 major components, right? We have the land, we have the materials, and we have the labor to build it. Land values continue to go up and up. So it's becoming more and more expensive each year for builders to purchase the land in order to build the properties. Labor. We have a generation of people that skipped the trades, went to college. We're also looking at mass deportations. We are limiting the number of skilled labor that's in this country that's able to build houses. The less number of people that are here to build houses means salaries are going to go up. If there's a shortage of people, they can bid for their services. That means salaries are going to go up. It becomes more expensive to hire people. Salaries are continuing to go up. So the labor component is becoming more expensive. And from a material standpoint, tariffs, right? We have tariffs on lumber. We have tariffs on roofing materials and cabinets and appliances. Everything that goes into a house is becoming more expensive, whether you like tariffs or not, because of the import taxes coming in. So we have land becoming more expensive. We have less people around to be able to build the houses, and the materials that go into a house becoming more expensive. Squeeze on margins. And when we look at the stock price for Lennar and the stock market as a whole over the past year or 2 years has gone gangbusters, not so much for Lennar. Lennar is actually significantly down over the past year, which is a stark contrast again to the market as a whole having such a great year. So when we're looking at, a president accusing home builders of sitting on all these vacant lots, well, one thing we do know is that home builders are not a charity. They are going to do what's in the best economic impact for their each individual companies. And if they thought that introducing another million homes into the ecosystem was going to be good for their bottom line, they would do so. But what they're looking at is the same chart we're looking at, which is we're putting houses out there. People just aren't buying them. So again, the home builders aren't charities. They are publicly traded companies that need to do what's in the shareholders' best interest. And if the margins are coming down, and if the homes that they're putting out there are taking longer and longer to sell, it would be crazy for them to suddenly start ramping up building and putting even more supply in because the supply that's out there is not being absorbed. So